Rachel Hopkins.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And it's a pleasure to follow the member for Solihull. Channel 4's public service model and remit, which are so vital to the continued strength of the UK's broadcasting ecology, would not be best served by privatisation. Not my words, the words of a former Conservative Secretary of State for Digital, Culture, Media and Sport only 5 years ago. And this is still widely the consensus among the public. The government's consultation last year essentially asked respondents whether they thought Channel 4 should be privatised. 91% said no, and only 2% said yes. The case for continued public ownership of Channel 4 is overwhelming. It doesn't cost the taxpayer a single penny. 100% of its revenue is invested back into the channel to provide entertainment for the public, good jobs in communities and opportunities for the UK's fast-growing creative industries. Its unique remit has allowed it to directly invest over £1 billion into the UK's independent production sector and to work with 300 smaller production companies every year. Channel 4's commissioning has boosted local economies across the country, spending more with production companies in the nations and regions than any other public service broadcaster. And over 50% of its commissioning budget is allocated to production companies outside of London. I can remember Channel 4 first coming to our screens in 1982, and it was an exciting prospect. It was fitting that the first show was produced by a regional production company, Yorkshire Television, and it was none other than tea-time favourite Countdown. Over the past nearly 40 years, Channel 4 has pioneered and showcased representation and diversity to audiences across the UK and the world. The channel's focus on alternative voices and cutting-edge storytelling has created TV firsts, such as the first televised female same-sex kiss to be aired before 9 p.m. in Brookside in 1994. And recently, we've heard already, It's a Sin, Derry Girls, or a favourite of mine, The Latest Show with Mo Gilligan, all brilliant examples of what a publicly owned Channel 4 can still create. Maintaining our world-class reputation in TV production and filmmaking is critical to our global Britain ambitions. But let's be frank about what the Conservative government's decision tells us. It isn't serious about distributing economic growth, supporting small and medium-sized businesses, or backing the UK creative industries on the global stage. As the National Union of Journalists put it, it's hard to see any justification for privatising Channel 4 other than ideology. Channel 4 has achieved what it was asked to do and has proved a hit with viewers. The government's hollow justification for a change in ownership doesn't stand up to scrutiny. Channel 4 is thriving. It's the UK's largest streaming service, nearly a third more than Netflix in 2020, while Netflix share prices have plummeted. The benefits of a publicly owned Channel 4 are clear and obvious for all to see. Selling it off is an ideological act of vandalism. This ideologically driven attack on the future of our creative industries and on the principle of having public service broadcasters will create a Channel 4 merely focused on delivering profits to shareholders, not diverse and distinctive content for the public. Privatisation would end the unique rights model that supports independent companies to grow. It threatens the future of Film for Films, which spends more on British film than any other UK broadcaster, investing £25 million annually into feature films which nurture diverse and new talent, which has created films like Trainspotting, Slumdog Millionaire and 12 Years a Slave, and has collectively to date won 37 Academy Awards and 84 BAFTAs. As well as the likelihood of losing the alternative, gritty, brave content we all love, the economic damage across the country will be substantial. We've heard EY analysis found that £2 billion worth of Channel 4's contribution to the creative economy in regions would be lost if the channel is privatised. There would be a 40% decline in the regional supply chain contribution and a 35% decline in jobs supported in the nations and regions. I also want to make the point that the timing of the announcement is very curious. It's been mentioned. This proposal wasn't in the government's manifesto. The government has prioritised selling off a proud British institution over tackling the cost of living crisis that is ravaging communities across the country. Yeah. So I look forward to hearing from the Minister and her telling the House in her wind-up speech why the government prioritises selling off Channel 4 over bringing down food, energy and fuel bills. How will Channel 4 being sold off help my constituents pay their bills? Or is this really a petty vendetta against a broadcaster whose news content the Conservatives don't like? Unlike the Conservative Party, Labour is proud of our great British broadcasters. We recognise the power of projecting British culture, values and creative excellence across the world in helping our country prosper. If it wasn't for Channel 4, my younger self wouldn't have discovered great new music by watching The Tube, or brilliant comedies such as Father Ted, or felt represented by working-class drama such as This Is England. And now my middle-aged self wouldn't be enjoying some of the best political commentary by the good people of Gogglebox or The Last Leg. Pushing forward with privatisation represents a complete disregard for the concerns of the creative industries and the public. Channel 4 ain't broke.